Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. And today I want to go in depth on the Dimension missions for the APK, for this update that has not gone live yet. Just keep in mind the regular PSA, this is made in conjunction with Netmarble's Star Agent program. Additionally, all of the numbers you see, all of the stats, the effects, the buffs, etc. are not yet finalized because the final version, the final, 5.5 is not technically out yet, so things can still be changed, and hopefully if things are not good, they will be changed on top of that. So let's jump into the Dimension mission, and we're gonna do sort of a side-by-side comparison with what we currently have for daily missions and special missions, because that is the bulk of what's being changed. We also have Villain Siege to consider and Dimension Rifts, so we will consider Villain Siege as well on my main account, on my regular Cynicalex account, but we also want to look at this Dimension one and sort of try and decide and try to come to the conclusion of whether or not this one is the same as the current system, better than the current system, i.e. more rewards, or worse, i.e. less rewards. That is the primary focus here. The rewards, do they line up with what we're getting right now in the game? So just to make sure that things are as close to equivalent as possible, I want to make a couple things clear here. On this test account here that I'm on, I do have the boost point subscription activated, which gives me an additional 25% gold acquisition. We are not going to be using extra boost points over 100, so we're not going to be going up to that 60% bonus. But if you're going to compare what I get to what you get if you don't have the boost point subscription, then it won't line up and it won't make sense for you, because it'll be 25% less than what than what I'm getting. You'll be at least 25% less. Additionally, on the agent level here on this test account, I've matched it to my build on my regular account. So I've got 14.2% increased gold acquisition. We do not have item acquisition chance, and the reason for that on purpose is that, for one, I can't actually match it completely because my agent level is not high enough to go 100 in item acquisition and 71 in gold acquisition. That's the first problem. The second problem is that not second problem, but the second thing that I want to figure out is, are the rewards as good with zero invested in item acquisition chance, or do we need to invest in item acquisition chance to make this new system, this new Dimension mission, actually worthwhile? So the first thing we're going to do now is we're actually going to jump into my old account here and see what's going on. So this, now we've switched over, that the APK is over here on my phone, but we're on my main account now here. This is my agent level 72, VIP 17 regular Cynicalex account. And you can see my agent level here has the same 14.2% bonus, but it also has the maxed out 30% item acquisition chance for the regular missions. And you can tell as well, I also have the boost point subscription activated, so I also have the 25% gold acquisition. So it's pretty similar in terms of the rewards. So without using boost points, let's check out now, using clear tickets, of course, what we would be getting. So we're going to do our daily missions here. We're going to clear ticket these and see how much gold we get. We get a total of 316,000 for each one, so it's a total of 633,640, and I'm just gonna keep a running tally here on the side. So that is the daily missions. Okay, we got our extra 100,000 gold. So you have to remember that this 100,000 gold, you get it roughly 1.3 times per week, or 2.3 times per week, because it takes you 6 missions to accumulate the bonus reward. And so you'll get 200,000 gold every 6 days, because it's 3 days to get each reward, and then that 7th day of the week will give you an extra 2 out of 6 or a 1 out of 3. So it's 2 1/3 basically of this. So if you divide it by a third, you're literally looking at a plus of 200,000, 333,000 gold added on. But that is a weekly amount then, that you have to then convert to a daily amount, which I don't really want to do right now. So we'll just keep that on the side. It's not the most important thing, because it's actually a pretty small number when you take that into consideration, because when you go ahead and divide 233 by by 7, you're getting 33,000 gold per day. So it's 33,000 gold is really not that fantastic on a daily scale. So now let's go over to the special missions. We still have enough boost points, but keep in mind that we did just spend 8 boost points. So you want to track how many boost points you're also spending, because that's important. We're going to do just this mission right here, and we're going to go ahead and clear ticket the same way. We are... Let's not use hidden tickets, actually. Let's see what happens if we don't use hidden tickets, and we just use the regular method here. So we're going to go ahead and clear it 10 times, and we're going to get other rewards as well, which, again, you're going to have to track yourselves, and it's going to depend on certain aspects. But you can see here, you can sort of ballpark it in your mind, and you can, people can go back and calculate this. I don't really want to calculate too much of it, because it's going to get really tedious, but I want that final gold amount. The gold is at the end of the day the most important property here, the most important resource. So we got 166,500 gold. My inventory is now full, so just hang on a second. So we're back. Let's go ahead and do the last 10 here. We're going to get presumably the same amount of gold here, 166,520. So we've got that full amount here. We've exhausted an additional 80 boost points because it's 40 and 40. So we're now down to our last 14 boost points here. We've actually gained a few boost points in the meantime, but that's sort of something that's impossible to track. And now let's go into Villain Siege and let's see what we get from our Villain Siege rewards. Just very quickly running through these. And it's difficult to calculate because there are random rewards as well from Villain Siege, but that is a layer of RNG that's being removed technically when they get rid of the RNG rewards, or the RNG factor in the Villain Siege rewards, because I could roll triple gold here, and I could get an additional 300,000 gold on these bonus rewards, but I have to have the characters. Or I could just get a bunch of dud rewards. So the guaranteed reward here is right here. It's gold. It's 110,000 gold. So from Villain Siege, we get an additional 110,000 gold. And we can actually, you know what? We don't need to run through the missions. We can actually just check. You get six bios. You get 6 Kate Bishop bios. But in addition to that, you're going to get an additional 80,000 gold here, an additional 50,000. So you get an additional 130, which means you get a total of 240,000 gold from Villain Siege. So just give me 1 second to calculate this. So now with all that calculated, you can see there that we're getting about 1.25 million gold per day from doing our 2 daily missions, our 3 Villain Sieges, and our 20 special missions. The last thing to factor into the calculation is dimension rifts, but dimension rifts are tricky because there are lots of different variable factors. There is, how much energy you have to run rifts, because they're expensive to run in terms of the amount of energy, and then you also have the type of rifts, because if you're just running normal or rare rifts, you're not getting very much in return. But if you're running legendary or mythic rifts, you're getting an additional 10% increased gold, so there is actually a lot of variability. So I'm actually going to leave rifts out of this, but I am going to say that on average, for the dimension missions we're going to switch to now, we should be looking for, on average, about 30 UUK for this, as much or more gold earned per day, because 30 UUK, 30, uniform upgrade kits is about 30 runs, roughly, of a rift. It's actually more than 30 runs because you're not going to always get 10, but let's just average it out in favor of the old system to put more pressure on this new system to actually deliver. So now let's take a look at the new system. Again, we're using the same gold acquisition bonus of 14.2%. We're using regular boost points with a boost point subscription. So now we're going to go to the highest difficulty, and it's important that you go to the highest difficulty and you don't do any of the lower difficulties, I imagine. And we're going to ready up here. This is my team, but because I've already beaten this mission once and I have 3 stars, I can go ahead and I can actually clear ticket it. So that's an important thing to recognize. If you don't clear the mission, like this one for example, I cannot clear ticket it. It's grayed out. I'm gonna have to go ahead and play it. So we go over to this one. We go over to this one, and you can see there that it costs 6 energy, and it's going to cost or take away 4 boost points. So if I hit this and I clear this 10 times, it's going to take up 20 clear tickets, and you guys can track the clear tickets later on. You know, you guys can make your arguments there, but I'm not really interested in how many clear tickets it's going to use personally. I'm looking more for the big picture stuff like the gold, energy, and boost points. So we're going to use here, we're not going to use hidden tickets because it's not fair, or because it's fair to the other one. We're going to use up 60 energy, and we're going to use up 40 boost points to clear this 10 times. So let's see how much we get for this amount of clear. You can see there that we get a certain number of the contribution points, and we ended up there with 58,420 gold, which is not that much. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 UUK, which is a bit low, on the low side, and then we got some other rewards there. And again, you can sort of slow this video down and you can calculate all the rewards if you wish, but I imagine that they're going to be pretty similar in terms of gear up kits, dimension debris, etc., to what we were getting before from special missions and you know, villain siege and things like that. And I guess the Uru is just kind of like an added bonus, but that's not really the important part. Actually, you know what is good? We're also getting blueprints, which is actually really good. But anyways, so that was 10 runs. So now if we go back and we go out here, we're actually already able to collect the first 2 rewards. So just from spending that 60 energy, which was an additional 40 BP boost points, we're able to collect this 1.6 million gold. So now you add that on, and of course you've got 1.6858 million gold, almost 1.7 million gold. So right there, with just that 60 energy and those 40 boost points and way less time spent, you're able to collect a lot more. But there's obviously still a lot more to factor in, like the biometrics and things like that. So now you can see that there's actually room for even more because it costs 30, but I'm actually able to collect 60 contribution points from just doing a run of 10. So I can actually, just from a run of 10, I can collect the first and the second reward. So I'm going to collect the second reward here, which is 5,000 Rift tokens. We also got some Rift tokens. I believe we got 10 Rift tokens because it's 1 per. And so we've got an additional 5,010 Rift tokens. Now you'd have to go into the shop and you'd have to, you know, do the math here. You got 1,600 divided by 5,000 basically, and you're looking at, you can purchase the bios 3 times with a little bit of change left over, a few Rift tokens left over. So that means you can get 30 biometrics, which I think is quite similar to what you would get from a special mission. Now, it may be less biometrics overall because you could possibly get 30 Craven bios and let's say 5 or 6 Vulture bios, maybe 10 Vulture bios. But the advantage here is you get to choose to get the premium character bios right away. So let's say you're the type of player that, you know, you don't even need Craven, but you're still running the special missions to get the shifter bios for Vulture. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. You can just cash in and get 30 Vulture bios and rapidly improve, you know, rapidly get him to 6 stars much, much faster than on the old system. So as far as grinding out for these characters, you know, Sister Grimm, Singularity, Gwenpool, Inferno, and Vulture, the ultra rare characters, as part of the Chaos Token Shop and as part of the special mission shifters, these are going to be much, much faster to farm, whereas the special mission characters, the, you know, the Inhuman, stuff like that, they're probably about as fast to farm now as before. And then you have the other characters from Dimension Rifts, which could be faster or slower to farm, but you just have to compare that if you're just spamming Rifts, because it does get very expensive. It's 140 energy for 10 runs when you have no boost points at level 6. And usually people run level 6 so they can get maximum UUK, they can get maximum cards, and they can get maximum biometrics as well. So that is the first run, which I already think looks pretty nice in comparison to the old run. But now let's do another run of 10 so you guys can see that this really starts to get, in my opinion, it starts to get pretty good. So we're going to do another run of 10 here, and we're going to see the rewards. Again, we're going to get a similar number of gold, and we're going to get a similar number of contribution points. So again, another 60,000 gold, which is nothing impressive. You've got there 5 UUK, which is pretty bad. I'm feeling like UUK, the uniform upgrade kits, are the thing that's getting sacrificed the most here. But now when we back out, we again have 2 contributions to collect. So you have a 1 to 6 star comic card chest, which is not that good because obviously it could just be a 1-star comic card, which is pretty crap and it's RNG related. But the next reward is another 5,000 Rift tokens, and this actually continues one more time, which means that by doing this run 3 times, by doing 3 sets of 10 runs, which is not actually that much energy, even without any boost points, you will be able to collect 15,000 of the of the Rift tokens per day. Because we go back in here and we do another run of 10 here really quickly, we're up to about 180,000 base gold on top of the 1.6 million gold that we were getting. And now when we go ahead, we actually got a little bit less gold because we ran out of boost points. That's why it went down to 53,000. And now you can see that the cost rises up to 12 energy with no boost points, which is similar but not as expensive still as Dimension Rifts. So if these runs will give you as many rewards in terms of UUK and comic cards and biometrics as the existing Dimension Rifts, it's still going to be cheaper in addition to all of the other rewards that you would be getting, i.e., you know, Uru, Stark branded blueprints, and so on and so forth, all those other rewards. So now we go ahead and collect our last two of the contribution rewards. We get 15,000 tokens, and actually we have one more reward. We have a custom gear chest. After we get the custom gear chest, let me just rattle this out for you guys so that we can see what happens once you sort of exhaust all of the rewards. You can see there's fewer cards. There's a cute little arrow that you can use to see but you are definitely getting fewer cards. You might be getting fewer obelisks as well and fewer UUK, but you're getting more of everything else, and you're obviously, or the same of everything else, and you're getting more in terms of the Stark branded blueprints and component packs, which I know a lot of veterans are frustrated by because they have to go to story missions to get them. But once you exhaust all of these contribution rewards for the day, you will see that now when you run 10 times, you only get 10 Rift tokens. So now the remaining rewards, if I were to just keep spamming this, it would just be more 10 tokens. But 15,000 tokens per day minimum, not even calculating the other tokens, the other Rift tokens that I was getting for just playing through the missions, means that in one day, let's say I wanted group biometrics and I had 15,000 tokens, I could get 90 Groot tokens. I could get 90 Groot bios. I could almost get 100 bios for any character in one day. That means in a week, you could get Gwenpool to 6 stars. That's pretty damn good if you ask me. Less than a week or a week now to farm Gwenpool, Inferno, or Vulture all the way up to 6 stars from 1 star. And that is not even considering all the other rewards that we got. Not even considering also the manipulation that we can use and the buff that we can use for the agent bonus. So now we're going to reset this because I am curious, and we're going to jack this all the way up to 30, which is what I wanted to do originally. See, I don't have enough points left, so we're just going to put the remainder here just to get a little bit of gold back, but obviously it's going to be about a third of what we were getting before because we were at 14% and now we're at 6%, but we now have a 30% acquisition chance. Now I'm very curious to see if the rewards that we get in terms of UUK and comic cards actually more closely aligns with the existing rifts that we were getting, you know, those items for specifically. So we can see here that we got UUK there, but we didn't get a comic card. We got UUK there. Okay, do we get 10 out of 10 UUK? We got there, and again, this is just one try, so you're not going to necessarily get 10 all the time, but it seems as though on this run we did get 10 UUK. That's a good sign. We were getting like 5 to 6 to 7, and now we jumped up to 10, but we don't see the comic cards at all, actually. It's really weird. I'm not seeing any comic cards whatsoever. So there's one. So I do think that they probably need to buff the number of comic cards that are dropping here, but on the plus side, you do have less gold spent upgrading comic cards from 1 star up to 6 star. So with the current system right now, you would end up with, let's say, 190 1-star cards, and that actually costs, you know, just upgrading 19 cards costs 24,000 gold, which is a lot of gold. So that is the, you know, that is the upside to getting fewer cards, but getting higher quality cards in terms of the number of stars. So instead of getting, you know, a 1-star card, if I crack this open, okay, it's a 2-star card. That's not much better. But this is my one from yesterday. Okay, these are pretty bad. But I believe in the shop, if we go ahead and check, there is additional rewards. And we can see here that you can actually purchase a lot of different things. Gear up kits, Mcron shards. Over here, the comic card chest, we're actually going to crack this a few times to see if we can get better rewards. So this might end up being actually a better source of cards overall than the current system with rifts, because even though we might get fewer cards, if you get more 3-star cards, you end up with the same number of cards, because one 3-star card is worth what? 5 times 5 times 5. It's worth like 75 1-star cards, or more than that. It's like 5 times 6 times 5, because you have to get 5 in order to make one 3-star card. You have to have 6 2-star cards. Every 2-star card costs 6 1-star cards, so that's, well, I guess it's 36. Anyways, you can do the math. I'm not going to do the math. But let's crack this open a few times and see what's up. So there we go. We got a 4-star card. That's a good sign. We got a 3-star card as well. And then a bunch of 1s. Let's open it again. Let's do this quite... Okay, we got 2 4-star cards. That's really good. 4 stars even more than 3 by my math. This one's pretty bad. Okay. There's another 4-star card. It seems to be not the most reliable. There's a 3-star card. Not the most reliable that you always get a 4-star, but we got 3 3-stars, which is good. And then we got 2 4-stars again. Let's just keep going a little bit further. That's pretty bad. That's 1 3-star, a 3-star, and a 4-star. Okay, so yeah, that's I think, you know, again, I'm going off intuition. I'm going off of what I can see, not necessarily what I know from sitting down and doing the math. But it seems like they've shifted things around a bit. But it seems like we are getting. I'm hesitant to say to stamp on it and say guaranteed. But my initial thoughts after seeing this and comparing it to the old system, I think this is better. But ultimately, we have to decide as a community. So let me know what you guys think. For those of you watching that are sort of super math heads, let me know. Crunch the numbers, break it down. I just don't have the time to actually sit down and look at, you know, every single line of information and every single item and sort of itemize everything, because I have the whole rest of the update to go through. So apologies for not being able to do that. That would take me literally hours. But maybe a group of you can come together and each choose one thing to track and see how it works. But I would say, based on my intuition, that this is a better system. And it's faster, and it's more clear-cut, because if you only want one type of thing, let's say you don't want any biometrics, you now don't have to waste your energy farming biometrics to get UUK, to get comic cards. UUK is really the only one that's missing out here, because we can't trade in Rift tokens for UUK, but we're still getting, it seems like, you know, 6 to 10 UUK per run of 10, which is still better than the Rifts, because the Rifts would cost 140 energy, whereas these only cost 120 energy, and these would also be giving you residual rewards, and they would also be giving you some residual tokens. You'd get, you know, 20 tokens for every run of 10, and you'd also get the extra tokens that you get there. So I think you get 40 tokens every time you run an additional 120 energies worth of the Dimension missions. So hopefully all of that made sense. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comments down below. What do you want to see next from the APK? Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like if you enjoyed the video, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you later again. Take care.